Quarantine, day 5, Friday, March 20th. The internet and cable have gone out, so now we're stuck playing games with Larry. We're playing Rummy Cube tonight. Myself, Elijah, Joni, and Larry. Maddie had to go to bed. In this game, Andrew and Joni collected a total of 366 points. Elijah and Larry collected a total of 246 points. Andrew and Larry had the same amount of points, while Joni had 5 times as much as Elijah. How many points did Larry have? Larry, keep your eyes on your cubes. Stop. He's such a cheater. Thank you.
What up, my quarantine people? Back at it again. This is day 5, Friday, the last day of your first week of quarantine. I hope it was as fantastic for you as it was for me. I know you're probably getting bored, so please tune in next week again as we start with episode 6 on Monday. Again, we're taking the weekend off. Let's dive right into this problem because there is a lot to chew on here. Okay, so first off, if you are a big fan of quarantine math or instructive beats, you know we love our sides check strategy here. You can always check out our song and our instructional video, the instructional videos for teachers, but I encourage students to watch it as well if you can. And the S stands for statement. We want to know how many points Larry had, right? So Larry blank points, right? So we're looking for anything about points or listening, I guess, or anything about Larry. It's our statement. This is our guiding light. This is what we're looking for. So when we identified, there was quite a bit to identify, and so I'm going to write in shorthand. We know that we had Andrew plus Joni equaled 366 points. We had Elijah plus Larry equaled 246 points, and we know that Andrew had the same amount as Larry, and Joni had 5 times the amount that Elijah had. Now, first of all, you should be asking yourself a very important question. How in the world can this snake play Rummy Cube? If you have not asked yourself that question yet, then you have too big of an imagination. The best way to do this is using tape diagrams, a visual model, bar models, okay, whatever you want to call it. And this is kind of a combination of a couple different ones. We have an additive comparison model with the multiplicative comparison tape diagram as well. Let's just organize our information, okay? So the first thing I know is I know that Andrew, okay, and Larry had the same amount. I'm going to make Larry blue. Although Larry's red, so maybe he should be red, but too late now, okay? So Andrew and Larry had the same amount, all right? Now Larry was combined with Elijah to make 246, okay? So we know that all together, this tape diagram was 246. I also know that Andrew plus Joni equaled 366, but down here, very, very important, Joni was 5 times the amount that Elijah was. That means she had the same amount he did, so it should be an equal group, but 5 of those groups, because it was 5 times more than. This is where our multiplicative comparison model comes in, okay? So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need one more. And then we also know that Andrew, so this is all Joni. What up, girl? Andrew plus Joni was 366. That's very important because it's going to lead us to our next step here. My question mark is right here, okay? Now, typically I try to get rid of groups to make equal groups here, but if I get rid of both of these, I don't know how much either one of these were, so that doesn't make any sense. I do know one thing though. I know that 366 and 246 are not the same amount. So if I draw an additive comparison part to this, okay, how big is the black piece right here, right? Well, if the total of this tape diagram is 366 and the total of this tape diagram is 246, then that means this black part with the question mark has got to be the difference between those. So when I subtract those, I get 120, okay? So this entire length of this part right here, this black part, is 120. If I look above it, I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal groups. So if I divide 120 into 4 equal groups, That means each of these four groups has got to be 30, right? And if this equal group is 30, that means this one is 30. And if this equal group is 30, we know that this equal group also has to be 30. Sorry, this was Elijah. Should have labeled it. And now I know that Elijah had 30. So now this is just a part whole model. I know the whole thing equals 246. If I want to get rid of this, right, then I'm going to do 246 minus 30. And that, oops, and that is going to leave me with 216. So I now know that Andrew and Larry both had 216. If you want to double check your answer, take 216 and add your 30s to it, and it should equal 366, because that's what we know Andrew and Joni had. So 216 plus 30 would be 246, 276, 306, 336, 366. So I know that answer is right, mathematically correct, so I checked it. So I've done all of these parts. So Larry had 216 points. If you're confused, I know that was a lot, go back and rewatch it. But if you're a tape diagram fanatic like myself, you can really use those to manipulate and to show what you're doing. Because check out the next step. Here at Instructabeats in Quarantine Math, we're all about taking ourselves to this next step mathematically. So the next step would be to write an algebra equation using my tape diagram. So once you solve for that 30, right, you can have x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 5 groups of 30, that would be one expression, is going to equal 216 plus 30 plus 120, right? Because you had to add all these together and should equal that. So now you could use your algebra knowledge to solve for x, right? So being able to visually see it is going to help you take that next step when you get to pre-algebra and algebra and writing linear equations and functions and understanding the expressions and how they're equal to each other and how we solve them, okay? That's where we're always trying to go. We're always trying to take that next step here at Quarantine Math and Instructabeats. Thank you so much for checking out the first week, our first 5 episodes. We really, really appreciate you spending your time with us. If you have not, please subscribe, like the video. We're taking a weekend break. We'll see you next Monday. Thank you so much. As always, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. If you're feeling sick, stay home. Stay safe. Do math. I'm out.